Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Carly Bell, and I like to get together with y'all one Friday a month to do a live machine embroidery tutorial from start to finish that we call Sip and Stitch. So I have my coffee. I actually still have my morning shake that I always drink because this morning has been a little bit crazy, but it's fine. I made it here on time, barely by the skin of my teeth. So, good morning. I hope you are all doing so good. Let me check the comments real quick. And also, I need to press a button. Please let me know if y'all can hear and see me okay. But I see Linda and Paula and Maggie and Clarissa and Dimps Designs. Good morning. Good morning. I hope y'all are all doing good. Thanks so much for joining me. We have Clarissa's from Oregon, Paula's from Alabama, Dee is from Kentucky, and Lori from Virginia. Yay, it's all over the place. Yay, yay, yay. I hope y'all are having a good morning. Ooh, we even have, is it Natalia or Natalie is from Belgium. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know if it's good morning over there. Is it good afternoon? I think y'all are like around 6 hours ahead of me, if I remember right. So, yay! I'm so glad y'all are here. Happy 2025. This is our first Sip and Stitch of 2025, and it is a bit late this year because we had just so much going on in the month of January. Is January over yet? That's what I'm wondering. Like, today is really the last day. I see all these funny things on Instagram and Facebook, like how January just seems to last forever, forever. But it's done. Today's the last day, and then we get into February. So, in celebration of getting into February, we are going to be making some really cute Valentine designs today that I'm going to show you in a little bit. But just for our new people that are here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Normally, I like to get together around the third Friday of the month, but this month was crazy where I was supposed to be traveling, but it ended up not because it snowed. And I live in southern Louisiana, right by New Orleans, and it is crazy because it never snows here. And if it does, it might have like a sprinkle. Nothing sticks to the ground. And that's like once every 10 years, 8 years, something like that, that will happen. But what happened last week was mind blowing to us. We had about 10 inches of snow. We actually went on vacation to the mountains specifically to bring my little girls to go see snow. And was more snow happened here back at home than what we saw when we were in the mountains on vacation. So it was crazy. So if you also got snow and normally don't, I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And for those of my friends in the north that are sick of snow, I got messages from people saying that we got some more snow here than in Wisconsin and in Ohio, like in places where they normally have snow. I think even in Alaska, there was less snow than what happened here. So very, very exciting. But because of that, all of the airport the whole city shut down because New Orleans does not know how to handle snow or ice at all. People can't drive on a regular good dry road, much less an icy road. So we all stayed home and the airport shut down, which meant I could not fly out to California where I was supposed to go meet all my friends at Sewing Machines Plus at the Road to California quilt show. So unfortunately, if you were looking for me there and didn't see me, that is why. We were snowed in and I was so sad to miss it. But I told Blaine that he better call me next year when he goes. I want to go. I really, really, really want to go. It looked like an amazing show. So didn't make it there, but I got to play in snow. So that was the win for, even though I lost one good thing, I got another good thing. All right. Shari saying, aloha from Maui. They are having crazy wind and flash flooding now. What is going on in the world? That's insane. I'm so sorry, Shari. I hope y'all are doing okay. I know here in New Orleans, we're back up to like going 70 to 80 degrees, and it was literally in the teens last week. So we're all over the place over here. Yay, I see Melissa is here. Melissa is my friend from Designs by Littleby, and that's whose project we're going to be making today. So everybody say hi to Melissa, and I'm going to show you all of her amazing designs in a minute. And just for reference, for those of y'all that are looking for any information on what I talk about today, let's see, how do I do this? Here's the button. Okay. So at the bottom of the screen shows my website. So you could just go to carlybell.com and you'll see things for Sip and Stitch. It's in the menu. They have a little picture when you first get on the site. But the place I want you to go to is called the Sip and Stitch homepage, also in the menu, but you could see the direct link here, and I have it in the description box below. That's going to tell you everything about today's project. It's going to tell you where I got the design from, all the supplies I use, and links to those supplies. And then there's also some additional information in there. So if you have any questions about anything I do today, the Sip and Stitch homepage is your go-to. The most recent project will be at the top. So if you're watching this as a replay, you might just need to scroll down. Today is Friday, January 31st. So if you're looking at this in February, right before Valentine's Day, you might need to scroll down a little bit if I've already posted the next project, or if you're watching this next year, just scroll. I am trying to make blog posts for each of my videos so that there's a dedicated, you don't have to do all that scrolling, but I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. I have some of them, but that's what I want you to know for all the information for today's project. So I think with that, let's go ahead and get into it. So I gave you a little sneak peek. Today's project is an in the hoop project. And what that means is we are going to be making something completely from scratch. I don't have a shirt. I don't have a towel. I don't have a blanket. I'm not embroidering something. I am making something brand new. So we're creating something in our embroidery machine without a sewing machine. And it's all done what we call in the hoop. So even though this looks like something I maybe would have sewed together, all done on the embroidery machine. So I love in the hoop projects. They're super, super fun. My friend Melissa at Designs by Littleby, she is my go-to person for in the hoop project. She has the cutest things like keychains, which some of them we also called snap tabs, um, lip balm holders, hand sanitizer holders, all the different little bottles of hand sanitizers and lotions. She usually has a pattern design that will fit different types of bottles. She has lip gloss. She has in the hoop zippered bags. I have some bags somewhere from her hiding in my box down here, but all kinds of really, really cute stuff. So this is what we're making today, but I encourage you to go check out her website. Lots of cute stuff. And she did tell me that there is a sale on this design, and she's going to keep that sale running, I think, until the end of February. So even if you're watching the replay later, you can still go snag this design. It should be on sale through February of 2025. Now let's go over what we need for this project. This is a 4x4 friendly design. So this means normally when I gauge embroidery machines, I group them by their maximum embroidery field or the biggest hoop that came with that machine. Okay. For me, the smallest embroidery machines come with a 4x4 hoop. That's their maximum embroidery field. And I love this project because no matter what kind of embroidery machine you have, you should be able to make this on your machine at home. Now, the machine I'm going to be showing you on today is a little different. It came out last year. Let me find my buttons. Okay. This is Brother's newest 4x4 embroidery machine, and it's called the Skitch. And it's unlike any other embroidery machine I've seen before. It looks like a coffee maker, but it is not. And it has a lot of great features that are normally not found on what we call a flatbed embroidery machine. It actually has a free arm on it, which I'll get into later. And I have a video I think I did last year on doing a baby onesie on this machine. So I love this machine for those small onesies because those are really not fun to hoop on a regular flatbed embroidery machine. This makes it so much easier. But that's great for that. But of course, we can make any other 4x4 project on this machine. So I wanted to show you something different today, that being an in the hoop project. So this is the machine we're using. If you have this machine, then you can see step by step how I'm going to use it. Some people get intimidated by it because it doesn't have a screen. It doesn't have a USB port. It doesn't have some of the things that we are thinking every embroidery machine has. It doesn't have it. It's actually powered by Bluetooth, and it uses an app on your phone. And when it first came out and I got it, it was confusing that I thought I could only stitch the designs on the app for the machine, but that was not the case. I can stitch any design that I purchase online, or if you happen to also digitize your own designs, I can send any design to this machine, but I still have to use the app to upload it. So I'm going to go through that whole process with you today. Okay. All right, now let's go over the supplies that we're going to use today. Oh, I love this. So Carissa said, Melissa is one of my favorite people. I haven't even met her, but she is awesome. Well, I have met her in person, and I can confirm that she is indeed awesome. All right. Okay. So so Sherry has a question. How much the machine weigh? It is so light. I don't know the specifics, but I pick it up no problem. I actually moved it to when I was stitching on it this week, preparing for today's class, I moved it over to my craft table in the center of my room just so that like everything was next to each other. It's super easy to move. Uh, I would say it's definitely probably lighter than my PE 800. I don't know about like a normal Brother 4x4 machine. Like what are they now? The PE 600s, I think they're in. They change the model every year, and I can't keep up with all the numbers. I will look on the website and see if I could get you an exact pound, how much it weighs, but I think it's very light, very easy to move. Okay. And let's see. So Norma said, what's the hoop size again? It is 4 by 4 inches. So another thing that is cool about this machine is that it comes with a magnetic hoop. So this is the 4 by 4 hoop for this machine. It even has registration marks so that you can use the app on your phone to take a picture and make sure your placement is just right. But with that being said, this is the only hoop that comes with the machine. And there's only one other hoop that I know of that is available that fits it, and it's the same design, but it's smaller. It's 3 by 3 inches. Let me go grab it. So these are the only two hoop options that I know of for this machine at the moment, and they're both magnetic. Now, I like magnetic hoops, and these are good. I would say, though, they are not as strong as like my dime magnetic hoops, or definitely my mighty hoops. So do be careful and watch it when it's stitching, because I've had hiccups happen, and when I was stitching something, it moved and the hoop kind of came undone a little bit. So there are some extra precautions that you can take to prevent that, but these are the only hoops that does come with it. A 4 by 4 is what comes with it, and this is an optional purchase, 3 by 3 after. So for the project today, no matter what machine you are using, you're going to want to grab your 4 by 4 hoop for that machine. You're going to want some tearaway, or you can even use cutaway stabilizer. The project is going to get cut out when it's done, and you are not going to see the stabilizer. So if you're going through your stash and you can't find any tearaway, cutaway is also fine. Both work for this project. And that's it. So within the hoop projects, I love that literally all you're doing is hooping stabilizer. We don't have to figure out placement. We don't have to figure out that it's hooped right and it's going to stitch in the right place. All we're doing is hooping stabilizer. So for here, all I have to do is this, like that. And then you just want to make sure your stabilizer is nice and taut, like a drum, so nice and tight, and so that everything will stitch well. So hoop your either tearaway or cutaway stabilizer. All right. Dana asked, where can she find the 3x3 hoop? I got mine from Sewing Machines Plus. I will have to look and find a link for you. But I'll try to remember that after the show and add it to the description box. Okay. And Dana also asks, would it be possible to quilt with this machine? I think you can do anything with this machine that is within the 4x4 hoop. So if you want to do a small quilting project and you have a 4x4 design of like edge to edge quilting, you should be able to move the hoop across. Now, I have not tested this hoop with very thick things like a quilt that has the backing, the batting, and the front. I don't know if it can handle that. I haven't tested it myself, but definitely on, I would say, one layer of fabric with batting, or you can make a little mini quilt block in here like I do with my Perfectly Pieced subscription. Yes, you should be able to do all that in there. The only thing I have not tested is how much can this magnetic hoop hold as far as thickness. I haven't tested that yet. Okay, so we have our hoop, we have our stabilizer. Now let's talk about other supplies. If you have never made an in the hoop project before, I'm going to introduce you to a new supply that you are going to need to fill your craft room with. And you're going to probably go crazy with it like you do with fabric. And I apologize in advance for that. And it's faux leather. So let me just go grab a whole bunch of it so you can see like all of the random bits of faux leather that I have in my room. Or vinyl, it's also called. Let's see, this is good. Okay. I have rolls and rolls of it. So it can come in rolls. It can come in sheets. It can come in things that look like leather, and then it can come in glitter and crazy holographic patterns and things like that. I have linked all of the few places that sells faux. It can be called faux leather. Some people, the thicker versions are called marine vinyl. For today's project, I would advise against marine vinyl. We cannot adjust the presser foot, I believe, on this machine, and so it can't handle anything too thick. So I've keeping that in mind. I'm trying to make today's project as thin as possible when it's done. But embroidery leather, faux leather, marine vinyl, those are all the names I think I can think of at the moment for the type of material that we use for in the hoop projects. The main thing is that it does not fray when you cut it, because almost all in the hoop projects, you're going to end up cutting and there's not going to be any finish edge to it. There's no satin stitch covering it. And so that when you cut it, it doesn't fray. It gives you a nice clean edge and you don't have to worry about it. You also want it to be more sturdy and substantial, usually to hold items. A lot of the in the hoop projects I make are holding something. I like it to be, you know, thicker than traditional quilting cotton fabric. And they come in a variety. Like I've had some that are like thin. This one's actually really thin. This is a pastel glitter rainbow. Then This is something that looks more like pebbled leather, and it's a metallic finish. I have a whole bunch of solid colors of this. This is a pretty metallic, and this one has felt on the, some of them will have like felt on the back. This one's felty. Some would be more like canvas. Um, this one's felt. So they come in a variety of different styles, and just check out all the places that I listed. I know Amazon has tons. Um, Sweet and Sassy Blanks is where I got a lot of this. My Punk Embroidery is where I got a lot of like this is just like a plain maroon faux leather. I think I don't remember where I got this one. I know this one's from My Punk Embroidery. These are from Sweet and Sassy Blanks. I got some from Glitterbug Fairy. Those usually have fun prints on them. Hobby Lobby used to sell them, but they stopped. But I literally bought everything on the shelf before they discontinued it. They had it all like marked down to like $1.25, and I bought most of it. So this is the one I think I want to use today. This is a mint kind of pebbled faux leather, and it has kind of a felt like backing. But like I said, if you are new to In the Hoop and don't have any vinyl or faux leather at home, go grab you some. Just make a little variety pack on Amazon. Yes, so I'm sure Melissa has a whole plethora of really fun vinyl and leather. So yes, please post your Amazon shop and show us all the leathers and supplies that you love. Definitely. And yes, Dee, definitely. If you don't like to shop Amazon, there are lots of other small businesses that sell faux leather. Like My Punk Embroidery is a great small business. Sweet and Sassy Blanks. I know Wendy, the owner. She's awesome. And she has so much fun stuff. I love when we go to Applique Getaway, is an in-person embroidery convention, and she sets up a booth with all of her stuff, and that's where I go shopping like crazy. All right. Ooh, they even have some at the Dollar Tree, but you don't see it too often. I'm gonna have to go check out my Dollar Tree. And let's see, Jen has a suggestion from us, the polka dotted peach. I will have to write that down and remember to go check them out. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so now that we had our little lesson on faux leather, you're gonna need some faux leather. For the project, you have options. You can use one piece of faux leather for the front. You can use a different piece of faux leather for here. However, you see this black bit? Before we add what's going to be the holder section of our lip balm holder, it is nice to cover up the back of this red vinyl because you're going to see tons of the back of the embroidery on there. And it's nice to cover it up. However, this can get too thick quickly by using a piece of faux leather here. So this is a tip I got from Melissa, and I bought some black cutaway stabilizer. So I just bought a big old roll. This is probably going to last me the rest of my life. But this is black cutaway stabilizer, and this is great for all of the projects that I do for Melissa and any other In the Hoop projects where it just kind of needs a lining on the inside so that all that beautiful embroidery we did on the front is not visible on the back. So use something thin. Black cutaway stabilizer is a great thin option. If you use white cutaway stabilizer, the only issue is that it might not, the coverage might not be as good, and you might still see some of that embroidery on the back. But if you're just getting started, try your white cutaway to cover it up and see how it goes. Another good option I've used in the past, and I just bought more because I ran out, is felt, like craft felt. I bought a pack of this on Amazon because I didn't have time to run to the store this week. But this is just regular old craft felt, and thinner is better in this case. I've bought some at Hobby Lobby before that was like really thick. So just feel it and make sure that it's on the thinner side. This could also be used to line the inside of your project. So with whatever you have in your craft room already to get yourself started. And then if you enjoy making these as much as I do, then maybe invest in the big roll of black cutaway stabilizer. So faux leather for the front, faux leather piece for the back, something to line the inside that is thin. All right. Other than that, you just need your embroidery thread. And when we're done, I'm going to go over all the options for the hardware section of this bit. And it involves punching a hole, adding what we call an eyelet. You see that little silver ring? And then you can use a variety of different things to put through that ring. I think I forgot to link all these things, but I'm sure Melissa probably has a bunch of options in her Amazon shop, where like they have these fun like screw keychains, regular old key rings, silver ball chains. These are called, I think, lobster clasps. So all kinds of fun stuff you can add on there. I even found, I don't remember where I bought these from, but like cute little tassels you can add to it. And I'm going to show you my cam snaps system, and I use it for all kinds of in the hoop projects. And I'm going to show you that when I'm done, but I have a link to it down below. Cam snaps, actually, when I keep buying all these things and I ask them if there is any way that they could offer you a discount, because I know it adds up. And she told me to the owner, I believe her name is Judy, she said to tell her all of my favorite items that I get from Cam Snaps, and she put together a bundle for me so that I could tell y'all these are all the things that I have. And if you're not familiar with Cam, this is the handheld press. The table press. There's also a handheld press, and it's got interchangeable pieces in it to punch holes, to add eyelets, to add plastic snaps, metal snaps, rivets, all the things. I invested in this probably 4-5 years ago, and it's worth every penny because I love doing these kinds of projects. And I have a link for that bundle in the description box and on the Sip and Stitch homepage. But it's such a cool tool. Once you learn that, okay, I like doing in the hoop projects, maybe start with the hand one. They even have a small option on Amazon, although I bought that one myself and I did not love the hand one. Cam Snaps has what they call a professional hand one, which I've heard from people doesn't hurt your hand to squeeze. But I haven't tried it out myself. I just went straight for the table press because, one, it's pink, and two, it definitely looked like it wasn't going to hurt my hand trying to squeeze as hard as possible. All right, so I think that's all the tools other than scissors, thread, your bobbin. So for all of my embroidery projects, I'm typically using a 90 weight white bobbin thread. You shouldn't see any of the bobbin thread on the top. You should only see your pretty colored embroidery thread on top. So you could use a white bobbin, you can use a black bobbin. Go with what is recommended on your machine. Some machines will recommend a 60 weight and some will recommend a 90 weight. The machine I'm using today is 90. I like to buy pre-wound bobbins because it just makes life so much easier. I fought against buying pre-wound bobbins for years, and then I finally gave in, and I will never wind a bobbin again unless it's colored and I need it a small piece for a specific project. All right. Okay, yeah, Susie says the cam snap handheld press is worth it. Definitely. She agrees with me. It's so nice. And yeah, Marissa loves hers too. Yay. All right. Okay, wait, I'm reading what Jackie wrote. With the only fun works great as a stabilizer, but be careful, never let your iron touch it. It melts. Speaking from experience, when I first started machine embroidery, what melted? The faux leather is not heat resistant. So we do want to stay away from heat with all of our faux leather that we're making for these things. Okay. All right, I think that's all. I do have a dedicated pair of scissors for cutting vinyl. It can be any pair of scissors, but in my craft room, these are my vinyl cutting scissors. I love little tweezer-like scissors to cut thread tails, and I usually have an actual pair of tweezers with it to make that process easier. I do find this machine leaves thread tails more often than my other machines, but it does cut jump stitches. So it's like either way, you end up trimming something. All right, so now let's get into the design. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. I'm gonna show you all the steps of it, and I'm gonna show you how to transfer it to the machine. If you have this machine and you need to go through the Artspiria app, we're gonna go over how to do that. I have not figured out how to make my phone screen pop up on my computer screen, so unfortunately I'll just be showing you my phone. I hope the picture quality is good enough for you to see. But let's first, give me a second. I think I only have, um, I have the hand sanitizer file open, but I don't have my lip balm holder design open in Embrilliance. Okay, there it is. All right, screen's gonna look crazy for a second. I'm gonna show you my computer. Also, I cannot see the comments when I'm showing you my computer, so just bear with me, and you can ask me those questions once I go back to the regular camera. But I'm using Embrilliance Essentials. This is my embroidery, go-to embroidery software. I recommend it for all beginners. I buy it directly from Embrilliance. Now, this particular project, you don't need to edit anything at all. But I have the habit of always opening up a design in Embrilliance, and over here is the objects panel. I can expand it and I can see every single step. And so this really helps me visualize, okay, this is going to be my placement stitch. This is going to show me where to put my vinyl. Then we're going to stitch my hearts. Then we're going to stitch the cute little outline of the hearts. Then this is going to be the stitch where we add that thin backing that's just going to cover up everything on the back. And the last step is going to be the bit that's going to make our pocket on the back. So I just want to point out those steps to you. Melissa also has a PDF instructions with all of her designs showing you these things, but I always like to open it and like see it for myself. Now, especially with the Skitch, when you have the design open in the Artspiria app, it shows you the progress, but I don't believe I see an outline of what the next step is. So I like to have it open on my computer so I can see what the next step is. But I'll have to remind myself when we stitch it out. I want to say it didn't show me what the next step was, as far as like highlighting just the stitches in that step. If you are new to Essentials, or even if you've had it for a while and you still don't feel comfortable using it, you've maybe done a few projects on it, but you don't feel like you know all the tools and how to use everything. It is an amazing program. I've made a course specific to teach you all of the aspects of this program. Now, I go over the company Embrilliance itself and the different programs that they offer. And then I go into specific detail on what features are in the Essentials program only. But it really gives you a nice overview of everything. And then it goes into details about all aspects of the project. And then we have project examples. We have a Facebook community for students to ask questions. So if you are interested in learning more of Essentials, I think I have a link in the description box of my class. It's called Embroidery Essentials, and it's a beginner software course specific for Embrilliance Essentials. Don't sell the software. I only sell a course teaching you how to use the software. So check that out if you are interested. Okay, let's go back here, and now I can look at comments. All right, so no questions about Embrilliance or the design. So there's the design. Now, the steps you're going to take if you have the Skitch and you're using your phone and the Artspiria app is you need to save that design on something that you can open on your phone. So if you have an iPhone, you should automatically have an iCloud account. And this is great for transferring files between different electronics. You don't have to plug in a USB stick for anything. So I can use iCloud. I have a Mac computer. It's compatible. It works great with my phone. If you have a Windows computer and you have a Apple phone, you should still be able to access your iCloud files on your Windows computer. Some other great resources that you can get for free is if you have a Gmail account, you should have a free Google Drive hooked up, associated with that Gmail account. And this is great for storing your embroidery designs. I actually have a little mini course on how I organize all of my digital embroidery designs, and that's something that is a free resource that you can use, is a Google Drive. So, or my last option is something I love to use is Dropbox, but that one is a paid for one. It was free like a long time ago. They gave you a little bit of storage for free, but now I don't think it's, they might still do that, but I've exceeded that. I started paying for it. um, so whatever you want to do is you want to get that design to a cloud that you can then have the app for that cloud and have it in your phone so that you can open it. All right, so Dana says, where can we find the design? Let me pull it up. So I have the link for it in the description box. Can't spell right now. This one. Okay, let me change you back over. All right, so if you go to the Designs by Little Bee website, I should have a link taking you directly to here. If you can't find that link for some reason, you can just search, use the search button and type in leopard hearts and you'll see it come up. But this is the design. It's on sale for only $2. So all you're going to do is add it to cart, check out, and then after you've checked out, there'll be a button to download it. And then that should bring, once you download it, it should go to your downloads folder on your computer. So where was it? It's here, leather hearts. So you might have to unzip it, which I think you just double click it to unzip it. And then when you open it, you'll see all of this. It's going to come in two varieties. There's a snap tab variety and an eyelet variety. If you are limited to a 4x4 hoop, your only choice is the eyelet one. If you have a 5x7 hoop, you can do the snap tab one. And I have done a tutorial on this. I think it was like in 2020. So it was a long time ago. But we did a tutorial on how to make a snap tab lip balm holder. If you look back in my YouTube history, you should be able to find it. And then Melissa has great instructions as well. But what you're going to do is, if you're ready to send it to your machine, you are going to find the format that goes with your machine. So I have a Brother, so I'm looking for the PES format. And over here, I have my Dropbox, I have my Google Drive, I even had a OneDrive. I have lots of things. I have iCloud. I can put it in any one of those and I will be able to pull it up on my phone. So that's where you get the design. I need you to then save that design, or you could drag and move it. You could copy and paste it into one of your cloud options that you have. All right. Now let's go to the phone. So let me find, so you're going to look for the Artspiria app. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to click that. Let me go to the home page. You can create a free account. Oh, they got Disney stuff. Cute. No, I'm going to close that right now. You can set up a free account. And then once you set up a free account, you can, any Brother machine that has wireless capabilities, or in this case, the Skitch's Bluetooth capabilities, you can register with the app. So I think if I look here, it takes a second to think, but it's got my print moda is here. This is the Skitch, the Brother PP1. I got my Stellaire 2, my NQ17E, and my Brother 6 needle, PR680W. So I teach with all of these machines. And I'm able to use this app to send designs to any of these machines. So what you do is you go to the plus button, and no, that's not what I want, right? My creations, my creations. Okay, this is going to be all of the embroidery designs that you put on the app. For free, you can upload 20 designs. Let me go back here so I can see. Sorry, I want to make sure I can see your questions while I'm showing you this. Okay. With the free Artspiria account, you can upload 20 designs in here to transfer to your machines wirelessly. If you want to have more than 20 in here, that's when the paid subscription kicks in. But it's very easy to upload what you're using and then delete it when you're done with it. You can always upload it again later if you're going to stitch it. I have this design already on here, but I'm going to show you how I did it. You hit the little plus button at the top, and it says import external files. And now it's going to pull up all of my files. And for me, it looks just like it does on my computer. I got my iCloud, Dropbox, Google Drive. So all of that's on there. And I know my design is in Dropbox. If you know it's in iCloud, just go there and you just scroll until you find it. And it's right here, Leopard hearts. And then you check it and you click open. Now, mine is already done, but I would click it and click open, and it's going to save it. And now it's on there twice. And then if I wanted to delete, you know, when you're done with your designs and you stitch them out and you need to add more and you don't want to take up all your room, you can go to edit and select the ones you want to delete, and then hit the little delete button on the bottom. And now you've made more room for you to upload more designs on your Artspiria account. Okay. And let me hit cancel because I don't want to edit anymore. Okay, so I'm going to select my design. At the top, it's asking you, what hoop are you making this in? I'm making it in my 4x4, so I have that checked. Done. I can add things to this. It does have a little bit of editing capability, so if I wanted to try and put some text on there or add another design to it, I could. However, this design is ready to go. You really don't need to do anything to it. So I'm going to click done. All right. Now, in my case, I would pick which embroidery machine I want to transfer it to. Because I have a few to choose from, I would go and click it, but I have my PP1, so I'm going to hit done. If I wanted to move it around, I could hit layout, but I don't need to do that. Sorry, there's a layout button. So I'm just going to hit transfer. And do I want to save that to the thing? Save. Okay, so my machine just made a noise, and the light started blinking on there. So it's getting the design sent to the machine right now. And in the meantime, on your app, it's going to tell you to make sure you have everything ready. Prepare the bobbin, and it has a video showing you specifically how to make sure the bobbin is installed correctly. And then there's a little arrow here, and it says prepare your magnetic frame. Make sure you have your item hooped and you have stabilizer, a video on how to do that. Little arrow button. Prepare the upper thread. Make sure you have your thread, your needle threaded, and everything looks right. And then that's the last little reminder for you, and you can hit done. All right, now it says check the embroidery area before stitching. So this is the same as the trace feature on all of my Brother and Baby Lock machines, where it will trace the frame to make sure that the design is going to fall where you want it, and the needle at no point is going to hit the embroidery frame. So I'm going to click this button, but let me switch you over to the machine so that you can see that happen. And I also want to go ahead and put the hoop on the machine. This has a really cool way that the hoop attaches, and you really just push it forward and it snaps in back here. And there's a little lever that, I don't know if I'm blocking it, that you can squeeze and that will release it. So just play around with it if you have this machine at home where it really just snaps right in and they have the little lever to release it. So now I have all that on there. I'm going to hit do trial run, and I have to hit the accept button on the machine. That's the blinking green one. And do trial run. I did that. There we go. Okay, so now it's tracing it, and I can see my design is not that wide, but it's making sure that the frame is on, because I don't think it can detect which frame you have on. I know on some my other free arm machines it can detect, but with this machine I don't think it's detecting which one. So that's really double checking you to make sure, hey, I got the right frame on. I don't have the 3x3 one on mistake, and there's a chance my needle can hit something. All right, if the carriage it's telling you if the carriage doesn't move, switch the machine off and on and restart it. But everything went okay, so I'm going to hit okay. All right, and then here is my embroidery screen. I don't know if this camera is good enough to show you this on. So it's going to show you a preview of the overall design. This is your progress bar. This is going to show you, it's going to move along as it stitches, and you'll see when it gets from here, it's at the very beginning, and here at the very end. This is telling me my embroidery time is 21 minutes. This machine is on the slow side. It only stitches 400 stitches per minute. So this project is going to take longer on this machine than it would on some of my bigger, faster machines. There are 7,462 stitches in this design, and this is a progress bar to show you how far along you are. This also is going to allow you to move around your design. This is just like your needle plus minus button if you have any other Brother or Baby Lock machine, where I can move ahead stitches or back stitches, and I can use this to gauge that. And then these are all my steps. So I could see I have 5 steps in the design. I could see each step, how many minutes it's estimated to take to stitch out. All right, so it is ready to stitch. I have a green light on the play button. So this is just like my green light on all my other flatbed machines telling it to start. And I know because I looked in Embrilliance, my first step is that placement stitch. I'm just doing that in the thread I already have loaded on here, because you're not going to see that color when it's done. And I'm going to show you how to thread the machine when we're ready for the next step, which is a thread color you'll actually see. So I'm going to hit play. And this is just going to be the outline of the design. So I'm going to go grab my vinyl, and the next thing it's going to stitch is actually the inside of the hearts, and I'm going to do that in a light pink color. So I'm going to grab my light pink thread. All right, so it has stitched the outline. This is showing me right where to place my vinyl. It also shows me how big of a piece of the vinyl I should cut. So I'm actually going to take this off and go to my craft table so you can see that step. Sometimes I'll just do that at the machine itself, but it's easier for me to show y'all here. So this is my outline. And basically what I do is I cut a piece of vinyl that's a little bit wider and a little bit taller. I just kind of mark it like that. Okay. And you are just going to be able to lay that on there. It shouldn't move. if you're worried about it moving, you can use some paper tape. I use the Kimberbell embroidery paper tape. You could also use the medical paper tape. You want something with a low tack. I'm putting it in places where the needle shouldn't stitch through, but with these low tack paper tapes, it's okay for the needle to go through it, and they tear away just like tearaway stabilizer when you're done. So just lay this, make sure all of your area is covered, tape it down if you want to, and then bring it back to the machine. Okay, and I can see the snap. I see my little lever move. I know it's secure in there. And I do want the inside of my hearts to be a light pink color. I have purple loaded right now, so I'm going to change the thread color. I personally don't like to pull my thread backwards through the thread path, so I'm going to cut it here, and I'm going to pull it out through the needle this little bit. And the spool holder at the top, I want to talk about it for a second. Normally, I don't like any spool holders on any flatbed machines that I have. I always end up using a thread stand. I haven't had trouble with this spool holder. One time actually where it came loose and I had to rethread it, but it has been working much better for me than my other horizontal spool holders on my flatbed machines. So try it out. If you constantly are having issues where the thread path is getting too loose right here, or you're having thread breaks, so like the tension is not right because it's getting hooked up on something, that's when you may want to switch to a vertical thread stand. And it's like, I have it, I can't reach it right now, but it's a little black pedestal with a silver rod coming up, and it has like a loop for your thread to go. So you stick your thread, it goes up through, and then you start going through the thread path. So keep that in mind if you're constantly having trouble with thread breaking or things getting messed up with the upper thread path. It may be because your tension's not right, and that may be because the thread is not feeding off of the spool correctly. But it has like a little tension disc right here. They have little pictures all over the machine showing you how to thread it, but you go down and up. I lean the thread back and then I pull it forward. They have a little hook in here. If you stand on top of the machine, you can see it, and make sure that your thread is going around the hook. And then they have a little needle bar here above the needle is step number 6. Sometimes I move it too much. Do this. Okay. Then you go through this bit here, which is step number 7. And then on the side of the machine, there's a cutting piece. And on side of the machine, there's step number 9, which is a lever you push down. And when I do that, the presser foot's automatically going to go down, and it's going to thread your needle. It usually has a loop that you have to end up pulling through, but it does a pretty good job. I love that it lowers the presser foot for you, because I know I've messed up my needle threader on my PE800 because I forget to manually put the presser foot down before threading. It does it for you. So that's really nice. So I have my pink thread. I know that my vinyl's covering my step, and now it's going to stitch all the inside of the hearts. This is going to take a minute. I think this particular step takes about 11 minutes. You can see I have a tail. I usually let it go and then trim it when it's done. If for some reason you see that tail and you think something's getting messed up because of it, you can always pause your machine. It's going to lift the presser foot, and you can go and trim that little tail before it gets a whole bunch of stitching going on. And that's where the little tweezers and the little snips help, that I can trim that. So if any point something doesn't look right, it doesn't sound right, don't be afraid to hit that pause button and stop it from going, so that you could figure out if something is indeed wrong. Sometimes my thread is shedding and I don't realize it until I stop the machine, and then I see a big old hairball of thread at the top. So those are just some things to keep in mind. But you're going to notice that this machine is going to cut jump stitches, unlike my other 4x4 and 5x7 machines, to where you don't have these jumps of thread all over the place. It's going to cut it for you and move on. Sometimes it leaves a tail after jumping, sometimes it doesn't. I find that bit is random, and I just trim them accordingly when I need to. And most of the time I just wait until the whole thing is done stitching, and then I trim them. So we're going to let that stitch, and I'm going to look at the comments and see if y'all have any questions. Feel free to ask me anything. You know, if you have a different embroidery machine, if you have questions about Embrilliance, any other different kinds of projects that are not in the hoop, let me know. Oh, thank you, Melissa. She gave, I think those are called super chat. Thank you so much. I'm so girl, I love all your projects, so I am happy to stitch out any of them for my videos. Love them. Okay. Do I have a review of the Skitch? I don't think I have like an official review. I've just done videos using the machine. I haven't done many. I think I've only done really one on my YouTube channel. I did some for Sewing Machines Plus, but everything I'm showing you today is basically what you need to know. You know, you can see how it's used. You see what hoop, you see the features. I showed you the Artspiria app. So those are all the important things that I think you're going to want to know in order to use the machine. As far as review goes, it's a good little machine. I think it's great for onesies. If I was still only working on my PE 800 flatbed machine, and I did a lot of baby onesies like I used to when my girls wore babies, I would get this machine just to do onesies personally. Just because of the free arm and the magnetic hoop makes life so much easier than trying to do a onesie on a flatbed machine. As far as all the other projects, I have noticed with my in the hoop projects, there's a thickness limitation to where it's not going to be able to stitch through super thick layers like we end up doing within the hoop projects. This one I'm keeping thin, but like some of my in the hoop bags and in the hoop little stuffed animals, they get some thickness going on with that. I don't think this machine would allow for that because the presser foot really doesn't have any adjustment to it. But as far as, I haven't done a patch on it, I don't think, but I think patches would be good. Any kind of towel or clothing. But like I said, at the price point on this machine, it's worth it just for onesies to not have the headache of doing it on a flatbed machine. But let me know if you have something in particular you want to know. So yeah, Dee said it is great for making patches. I'll have to make one on there later today just to play with it. Yay! Christopher said, first time to see me live. Yay, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, this is good, Wendy. Okay, I'm so sad your mom was in the hospital, but I hope she's doing well. But she got to know all the nurses. And instead of them throwing the paper tape away when they were getting close to the end of the roll, they would bring it to her. She got a pretty good stock. That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm gonna have to tell Chris that. My husband's a nurse. I don't know if, yeah, I'm sure he always has maybe paper tape or something in his pocket. I'm gonna tell him to bring me his leftovers too. That's a great idea. So maybe while that is stitching, I'm gonna start going over all of the hardware stuff, because sometimes it's intimidating to people to see all the little bits and pieces that I have, but it's a lot of fun. And you can collect it slowly over time, or you can get a bundle and just have it all at once. I started with a couple things and then I added on to it. All right, so I'm gonna change my camera. Okay, so this is, my turn to the side. This is the Cam Snaps table press, and it's a little bit heavy. Ooh. I would say this might be maybe lighter than the machine, maybe. But I can hold it with one hand. And it's meant to just stay on your table. You even have the ability to screw it to a table if you wanted to. It has these holes here ready for that. But the thing I want to point out to you, it has this big lever. It's fairly easy to push down. And on the top, it has, it accepts things to get screwed into it. So I screw pieces into the top, and in the bottom, ow, you just set things in it. You see it has that little hole there. So it can do a variety of different things. Oops, let me put that to the side. All right, and here's my little fishing boxes of things. So the first one I'm going to show you is this one. You can get these little boxes at the Dollar Tree. This says hardware storage case. And I keep all my little things in here. So the first things that I bought was the ability to put plastic snaps on things. So let me find something with a plastic snap to show you what I'm talking about in case you haven't seen it before. Now you know I got a bunch. Here we go. I got some more Melissa's things. Okay. This is my little basket. I started organizing my samples the other day. This is my in the hoop basket. You see this little snap right here? That's the main thing I wanted to use this hand press for, this table press for, was these little plastic snaps. Now this project, super cute, right? This is Melissa's. She has a whole variety of notebook covers. They fit these cute little tiny, I have it in upside down, composition notebooks. I think you can also get these at the Dollar Tree. I know they're at Walmart. And you see how they just slide in right here. And we did a video on this a few years ago, I think. But I used the press to make that snap there. I think that's the only thing I have in this basket that has a snap on it right now. Yep. Okay. So that's how I got started. And I needed the special, I can't remember what pieces are they. Either this piece. To press the snap on with. Oh, this and this. That's the pieces to press the snap on. Oop. Something moved. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Something happened. Let me show you, because I know when things like this happen, it gets like, oh no, it's ruined. It's not ruined. It's fine. So something got looped around the presser foot and it pulled up my vinyl, but I can fix it. And I'm going to cut the thread that got looped. So you see what happened there, and it pulled it up, and it actually tore, because I got tear away, it tore a hole right there, but that's okay. I can fix that. So I'm going to lay this back down, and I see where it got looped right at the bottom of that heart. So I'm going to back up these stitches here and restitch that area again so that it's nice. But before I do that, I'm going to add some more stabilizer. And this is really cool with tearaway and easy to do. When things like this happen, you can take an extra piece of tearaway stabilizer and float it underneath your project like that. So now, even though it kind of tore and made a little hole right there, it's still, everything's still hooped, but I got a hole in my stabilizer. So I'm just going to slide this underneath, and that's going to patch that little section. And I'm going to go back and restitch the bottom of that heart. And how do we do that? So we're going to go on our app to where the numbers are. And this is to back up 1 stitch, 10 stitches, 100 stitches. Let me do 10. And I can see the little crosshair right here of where the stitch is. And I want to back it up to where it's here. So I'm going to hit this. Let me just go ahead and back up 30 stitches just to be safe. Let's see how that goes. And I'm going to hit done. All right. And then I should be able to, oh, and I'm not threaded anymore. Let me You always check your upper thread, make sure it's still where it's supposed to be. It came out. Okay, now it's threaded. I backed it up. I can either tape that piece down, or I can use like a little chopstick or stiletto if you're worried about things moving, just to hold that. I'm gonna hit play and see it backed up. And now it's restitching that area that got messed up and through my new floated stabilizer. So now that's stuck under there. Now it's got something going through it. There we go. And now it will go back here and start stitching that heart again. Oh, look. I see it. It's the tail. It looped it again. So maybe it's best that we do trim those tails right after they happen. Pause the machine and trim them, because that's what's happening. My tail is getting looped over the presser foot and causing that to happen. So it's not happening every time. It's just every once in a blue moon. Okay, I'm going to start that again. Here's this tail. But don't be like me. Pause it whenever you're trimming tails. I always have the bad habit of wanting to do all kinds of things while it's stitching. Just pause it. It's like you're not slowing yourself down that much by pausing it for a second. Okay, that's going. So now y'all got to see how to troubleshoot when things like that happen. All right. Charlene X, is that machine really that quiet? It is not loud, but my microphone does dampen things. So let me go put my microphone right by it. Now, do y'all hear it? It's really not that loud, but I know my microphone tends to dampen the sounds of the machines, especially when I'm talking. Okay. Oh yeah, Marissa says that we talk back on the snaps that we were talking about. She loves putting them on the baby bibs, and that way they can't get them off. Yes. Hi Sherry. Let's see. Dee said no, she still couldn't hear it. Okay, it must be my microphone then. Is dampening the sound. So I'm gonna take this off the hoop. It's done with the hearts. You see I have some of these tails. I'm gonna go trim those real quick. This is my little patch job I did with the extra tearaway to make sure that the bit that got tore up is now supported. I'm just going to use it, trim these tails real quick. That would be like my only complaint, is that it's so nice it cuts jump stitches, but then it still leaves these little tails. And it's not every time, it's sometimes. So I don't know if maybe I can adjust something with the cutter. I know when they show the tutorials that Brother made for this machine, they like you to hold the top thread before, when it's doing that first stitch, and then pause the machine and cut it. But that's for the first stitch. That's not for all the time it jumps that you're going to do that. So there's all my little hearts. So the next bit is like the leopard part, I guess you would say. I'm going to do that in some white thread on this project. But you can have a lot of fun with colors with this project. Okay, I just put my hoop back in. And I'm going to cut my pink thread there, pull it out. And with this spool holder, they have this little teeny tiny black bit that's going to fit inside your spool. That's going to help you tremendously. It will not work without that piece in there. Trust me, I know. I found out the hard way. Okay, under that tension disc, make sure it's really good going under that tension disc. Around, round, round. Needle bar. Pass through. Cut and thread. Boom. And I can hit the play button now. And so let me show you what Brother suggests you do. They suggest you take and hold that thread and hit play. And then pause. And let me get my tweezers. And then cut that tail. Now at the beginning. And then go. But like I said, you're not going to do that for every single time it jumps. So let me see if that helps it for the jumps. We'll see if the jump now leaves a tail. All right, I also want to look because I couldn't figure it out when I was doing my project this week. But one other thing, it's got a needle down button, but I could not get it to work when I wanted to. We're going to test it again. They have a cut button so that if you want to pause it and cut and stop, like especially like if something happens and you need to change the bobbin thread, you'll get an error on your phone, on your app, and tell you that. And see, I still have a tail. It all depends. I also think the thickness of this project really prevents that tail from getting sucked down into it. So I think the weight of the vinyl has something to do with the amount of tails I'm getting on this particular project. But I know, like, say your bobbin runs out, you'll get an error. And I think the machine will stop by itself. And you would go and then hit the cut button and it will cut the bobbin thread and then you could take the hoop off. So like if anything happens and I want to stop and I want to take the hoop off in the middle of stitching, I always use that cut button. But for in the hoop projects, there's a step that I like to do for the last bit where I like to pull the bobbin thread up from the bottom and hold both pieces. And I usually do that by using the needle up down button. But yesterday when I was playing with it, I could not get it to work. So we'll try again today. Maybe I was doing something wrong. Alrighty then. Okay, Regina has a good question. Does the Artspiria work with baby lock machines also? No, it is specific to only Brother. For baby lock, I was using the IQ Intuition. I no longer have a baby lock. I used to have the Altair, but I traded it in for the Stellaire when the new Stellairs came out. I'm gonna pause. Look what's happening up here. Do y'all see this? The thread has come off of here completely and is over here on the side. And I haven't had any trouble, luckily, with stitching yet, but I'm so glad that I caught that. So that is when I'm probably going to be like, okay, now I think I'm going to switch to, let me push this back good. I might switch to my vertical thread stand if this happens again. Okay, just getting all that loose thread until it gets back to where they have a good tension between them. Okay, so yeah, the Artspiria app only works with Brother, but I believe Baby Lock has its own app, but they don't have a machine like this. they have the IQ Intuition app, and I think that helps you with placement, with all the hoops that have those registration marks on them where you can take a picture. Okay. Oh, good. Y'all saw the thread. I'm glad I noticed it and y'all noticed it too. All right. Oh, yeah, she said I caught it just as she was typing. Yep, you gotta keep your eye on things. Unfortunately, I'm always like, oh, I can leave for a minute. No, something happens. I did actually leave it by itself though. Yesterday I was in the middle of stitching. So this was another thing I wanted to show y'all today is this hand sanitizer holder. This is actually, Melissa can tell us more, but this is a free design on the Designs by Little Bee website right now. I put a link to it in the description box. Now, how long it's going to be free, I don't know. But she has this as a free design, so you can go and download it. And it holds a little Bath and Body Works type of hand sanitizer, and it fits right in here. And you can open it and use it, and then you can put it, a keychain or something on it. But I stitched this yesterday, and I stopped to go eat lunch, and it was in the middle of doing this satin stitch, going all around this pink fabric. And I was like, I'm gonna be brave, and I'm gonna let it stitch this while I go eat lunch. And it didn't mess up. I was very proud of my machine. And I did this on the Skitch too. So and this was a little thicker because this one we got vinyl, this is fabric, and this is fabric. So it had 3 layers going on here, but because the fabric I think is so thin, the machine was able to handle it. I get worried about doing maybe thicker layers of vinyl though. I did use my black cutaway for the inside liner so that you wouldn't see all the stitching from the heart and the love on the back of here. So that's where it's nice. It just like covers it up for you. Let me watch my machine. Y'all watch too. So it's just doing all the little white bits for the leopard. It's cutting, still leaving some tails, but I'm just going to keep an eye on it. Like that one, it didn't leave a tail. Maybe. No, it did leave a tail. But this one, it didn't. So just watching it, making sure that that tail doesn't loop over on top of the presser foot, because that's what happens down here with the pink for some reason. But yeah, so Melissa, tell us about this hand sanitizer holder and how long that's going to be available for. And then I'm sure it's going to go to once the promotion that she's running with it now is over, it's probably going to go to $4 or $2 on sale. But it's super duper cute. I really, really like it. And I like how it combines vinyl and fabric. You notice all the fabric bits has a nice satin edge so that you don't have to worry about anything fraying. It's going to totally cover the edge of the fabric, but you don't have to cover the edge of the vinyl. So that's what I mean within the hoop projects. Vinyl's great because you can have a nice clean edge without covering it. Like with fabric, you need to cover it so that it has a nice finished edge. All right, so that is on there. Let's get back to the cam snaps. I showed you one example of snaps. Sorry, I don't know where I have more at. They're hiding somewhere, but I have a lot of cute little keychains that are snap tabs. And that's what I bought it for first. And then you also need to get the actual little plastic snaps. This is the container I have. And there's 2 different kinds of snaps. They have regular, and then they have long ones with longer little spikes on them. For all your vinyl and in the hoop projects, you're going to want the longer ones. So they're all size 20, but for your vinyl projects, get the long size 20. For your baby onesies and your burp cloths, you can probably get away with the normal size 20 regular length for the little spike here in the middle. But the snaps consist of 4 pieces. You're going to need 2 of the round bits with the spike, and then they have a male and a female bit where they actually snap together. And the machine, the press will allow you to push these pieces together like they fit inside each other with your fabric or your vinyl in between. And then it's going to smush the spike bit down to where it's not poking out anymore. And then now you have your snap. So that's how that works. I've done a lot of snap projects on my YouTube channel that you can check out. Now for today, we're doing something, some people call it an eyelet, but it's also a grommet. It's a very, very small grommet. And with that, you are going to need a couple things. First, you're going to need to punch a hole through your item. So you need to get that hole out of that vinyl first. And so I have a 5mm hole punch. And this screws into the top. And I just smush my table press and it will cut a hole in whatever. And it can cut holes through several layers of vinyl and such. Then you need the actual eyelets, which come in 2 pieces, and these are 5.1mm. And they come in several options. They have like a brassy, a gold, silver, and I also got some colorful options here too. But the eyelets will come in 2 pieces, the larger bit and then this kind of little ring to smooth out the back of it. Right here. And that's it. So you need, and then, the actual, after you punch your hole, you take that piece out and then you will add the pieces to smash the grommet. So this piece goes in the bottom, this piece screws in the top, and this is how it pushes down, this little piece here, and it allows you to press the eyelet just right into your project. So I love that all these things are interchangeable. I have a grommet, so I have this little tiny one, but I also have one for 10mm grommet. So these are like double the size. So if I'm making like a little garden flag or a banner or something where I want a larger hole, I have these, but they have a variety of sizes. And then I have the brass 10mm grommets. I have I got all of the hole punching sizes. So as little as, I think this is 2.5mm. This is what I punch a hole for the snaps. And then they have 4, 5, 7, 10, 12. So if I ever need to punch a hole in something in a variety of sizes, I have all these different hole punches. Or you can just get the one size that you need. So that's where it's like, it's really customizable, so that you can make your project how you want. The other thing I got, and I haven't used it yet, but I have plans on making, this is cute for when you just need to bind something without a hole, or like purses. These are rivets. And I know these for purses. I know they're on jeans. Like you think about the rivets on your jeans that are kind of holding things together. So these are great for any kind of project where you don't need a hole in it. You just need to pinch 2 pieces of vinyl together and keep them together. Then you can use a rivet. And that also involves a special press. I don't know where it is though. Here. This one, rivet, 6mm. So this is my pieces for it. And everything comes in little bags and labeled. So it's easy to keep track of everything. Oops. I think I need that. Yeah. All right. Let me go back to the machine so you can see what it's doing. Oh, okay. Melissa has a very good point. So the little conversation heart hand sanitizer is free, but only through tonight. Her sales usually go through calendar months. So she had that free the whole month of January. And unfortunately, we are the last day of January. So today is the last day to get it. So if you're watching now, go grab that. Oh, my thread is off again. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna definitely recommend that we all switch to the vertical thread stand now. I'm gonna go try and grab mine. I might have to move my camera to get to it. Okay, that is done. No, it's not done. It's got a little bit left. I'm gonna move my camera. Sorry for shaking. No, I can't move that way. I'm gonna move this way. Okay, this is my vertical thread stand, and it's on a little thing so you can move it up and down. But I'm probably going to set that here behind everything and make it taller. And put my thread and then come here. And we'll see if that height, I think it's the height that's going to help you. Coming from here to here and then around, it's going to help with my thread not coming out of this tension disc that they have here. Okay, so that is done. Let's take this off and go trim all these tails. You can see. And I was just thinking that yesterday. I'm like, this past week where I've been messing with this machine a lot, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I need my thread stand. And then, of course, when I do the live, it's going to be like, oh, yes, you need a thread stand. But that's what lives are for. So that we can learn things. All right. Just using my little tweezers. Get all these tails. I'll have to go back and look at my video I did with the onesie. I don't remember having all these tails with the onesie. And that may just be the thickness of the vinyl that's preventing the thread from getting pulled through like it should. Okay. Just looking. All right, that all looks good. And now we're going to talk about the next steps. So it is done with all the pretty front portions of the design. And now we're going to add the lining. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to turn your hoop over. Oh, look, this went. And what I can do here is cut my floating piece of tearaway that I had right there. I just trimmed that down, and I thought I had an extra piece of this lying around. Maybe. I don't know what I did with it. Okay, but here's my black cutaway. And you're just going to cut a piece. Oh, I remember I used it on the hand sanitizer holder. All right. So here's my black cutaway. This is what I'm just covering up all of this on the back so that you don't see it when you have your, see, most of it's covered up with your pocket, but this bit at the top you are going to be able to see. So it's nice. It just gives it a more finished look to do this. So I'm just cutting a piece, just like I did the vinyl, a little bit taller, a little bit wider, that I'm going to cover this up with. Now is when you're going to need that paper tape. And without putting too much pressure, now this magnetic frame, we can push on a little bit more than traditional hoops, but I still get nervous about messing this up to where it's not as tight as it should. So I'm being gentle with the pressure I'm putting. I'm using my nails to kind of scratch it in, and then I'm going to turn it over and really rub. So this is my method for traditional hoops too, just to make sure that I'm not pushing my stuff out of the hoop on accident. So on the back, you want to have whatever you're using to cover your inside pocket. It can be, you could try white cutaway, black cutaway, thin piece of felt. And this is also an optional step. You don't have to cover it up. Like I said, it just gives it a much more finished look. All right, but we're going to go back to the machine and it's going to do a simple outline. Now, for this step, you are going to see it on the front. So this is the step. Think about what color thread you want your outline to be. See on this one how it's white? White is super easy because you already have white bobbin thread. So it's going to look nice and finished on the back. And with some projects where I get particular and I want to make sure the back looks the same as the front, this is where you can wind a bobbin with your top embroidery thread, and you can add it to your bobbin and so that they match on the front and the back. But to me, the easiest is just to do white. So I did white on these two, right? I'm going to show you an example of not doing white though. See on this one, I did the light purple. You see that purple? Might be hard to see with the camera and the reflections, but I did a purple thread, but on the back I did not change my bobbin thread, so the back is still white. It doesn't really look bad at all, but I just wanted to point that out to you in case those kinds of things bother you. This is the step where you would add a bobbin that matches your top thread if you're particular and you want your back to match. So I'm going to do white so that I don't have to do that. So I'm going to use my white thread. And this is going to give me this big outline bit on the back, and that's going to attach my black. This is also the step where I usually want to use my needle down, needle up feature. So let me try again. Okay, I'm going to hold my thread. No, it won't let me. I don't know why. I don't know what setting I need to be in so that it will let me. I've also tried just doing this, but oh, I got it. You just got to be quick about it. Okay, now I have my bobbin thread. Maybe. Oh, I need my tweezers. And this is also a silly thing. And I got this tip from Melissa years ago when I first discovered her. This is going to keep that little nest of a knot forming on the back of your project that sometimes happens within the hoop projects. Sometimes it gets hidden and it's not a problem. Sometimes I have this big old wad of thread on the back of my project that just doesn't look good. So I'm trying to prevent that from happening by pulling up my bobbin thread. If your needle down button works on your machine, just press that and then pull your bobbin thread up. Or you can try and play with the start stop button to get it just right like I did, and it worked. So, and I'm just going to hold that until it's going, and now I'm just going to leave it out the way over there and let it do its thing. Okay. And this is when things start getting thick on here, because now we have this bottom layer and we are about to add the pocket, which is the vinyl, which is thicker than that cutaway. All right, so now take it back off. We have now stitched the inside lining in place. This is the tail that happens at the last stitch. So what happens usually is the first stitch where I pulled this out, there would have been thread there already and it would be a big old wad of things, but I can trim this now and I think it'll still look nice. But let's go add the pocket, and we're going to add the pocket similar to how we added the backing, except not across the whole thing. So I'm going to trim here. Now, one thing you'll notice when you stitch this, and let me take this. Okay. When you stitch this, and I hope you can visualize it. If you notice from here, the stitching is thicker. It did the bean stitch. It went back and forth 3 times. But if you notice right after here, it did a running stitch. The stitch is much thinner. It only went 1 time all the way around. And then right here, boom, it gets thicker again. That is your visual to help you know how high to put the pocket. Now, it's okay if you put the pocket below this, but that's what I used as a guide to show me right where to put my vinyl on the back. So you're going to turn your hoop over. You should see it on the back too. You see how much thicker it is right here? That is your guide to show you, okay, this is how high you want to put your pocket. Okay. And notice how much thinner this one is. And you are going to want a piece of vinyl that has a nice straight edge. So use your good scissors or use the piece of vinyl where it like the manufacturer cut it and you know it's nice and straight. You could also use a rotary cutter and a ruler to make sure you get it nice and straight, which I have somewhere, but I don't know where. But we're going to cut a piece and that we're going to lay it on the back of there right where that thick stitching stops and the thin stitching starts. That's our guide. And then, of course, longer than it needs to be. And then wider. So for this one, like, I like my edge of that I just cut. I think I did that one nice and straight. So I'm going to use that one for here. And I'm placing it right at the bottom of that thick stitching, going straight across. And I can actually take the tape I was holding my black in place and now hold my vinyl in place. Again, gentle with pressing it so that we don't mess up our hooping. Let me go ahead and trim this tail. Okay, and I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to press that tape in place. Okay, and again, we're going to go back with the white thread, and now it's only going to stitch around here, and that is going to secure our pocket into place. Okay. And I'm going to do my same attempt at trying to get the bobbin thread up for this step. Let's see if I could do it again. All right, press, nope, press, press. Yeah, I got it. Okay, I need my tweezers again. My fingers are not working. Okay, so I got my bobbin thread, pull. All right, also, this is going to be your thickest step. I did find, right, sometimes it has trouble dragging on this bottom, so I'm just going to watch it right there. And depending on what kind of vinyl you're using, sometimes dragging across the flatbed is hard on it because it's sticky, like that metallic-y vinyl. So I could tell it was struggling right here a little bit. So just watch that, because some of those metallic-y vinyls I used were sticky, and so it like really drug across the bottom. All right, and so we're done stitching, and now it's just putting it all together, trimming it out and adding the hardware on the back. Okay, so all right, hey Joe, I'm glad you're here. All right, yeah, see, I saw someone ask about the design. So the design we're making is the lip balm holder is on sale for $2 until the end of February 2025. The hand sanitizer holder is for free. The last day is today. So go and download it by tonight. And I think Melissa, I don't know if you moved yet, Melissa, but maybe Central Time Zone. But this is the hand sanitizer holder that's free, but ends tonight, January 31st, 2025. All right, we are done stitching. I'm going to trim this tail, turn it over. get the tape. I've used this tape like 4 times now. I think I can throw it away. It might still be good. I could stick it to the end of my craft table here and use it for another project. That's what I tend to do. All right, now that we are done, oh, we got one little tail here. See, I don't have no little nest or nothing on the back, which I'm very happy about. That was what I was trying to accomplish with pulling that bobbin thread up. Some of these other ones, like, you see that? That is what I was trying to avoid, that right there, by pulling the bobbin thread up. Not a big deal. That's just me being picky. But I do like when it's got a nice clean back. We can take the hoop off now. And on these hoops, they have these little lips and they just pull right off. So all 4 corners have that lip, so you should be able to pull it right off. Like I said, these magnetic hoops are not as strong as some of my bigger magnetic hoops, so I don't have to use too much pressure to try and get them apart. I store them where they are the wrong sides together. Well, like actually the back, I'm laying the front flat, right side up, and then I lay the front like that. So that keeps the magnets, the direct magnets, from touching each other. This is how I was told to store my mighty hoops. So I'm assuming this is a good way to store these hoops as well. Now we have our project all trimmed, all the tape off. So all the tails are trimmed. Now we can trim the faux leather. And this is when I was telling you I have my scissors that I use in my craft room for this. And you just basically want to cut, I guess I would assume about 1/8 of an inch outside of the stitch line and go around. And this is kind of a situation where the more you practice, the better you get. I take my time. I try to not to make jagged cuts, but it happens. And I just go around and just follow the stitch line. And there's no like right distance it needs to be. Do whatever feels good for you, whatever you think looks best. Some people like a thicker distance. Some people still like it to be super close to the stitch line. Just don't accidentally cut your stitches. You can always cut it thicker first and then go in and trim it a little closer. Okay. And like some spots don't look so good, so I could go try and fix those after. But really, you are the only person noticing these things. Elise has already requested that she can have these to bring to all her little friends at school, so I'm probably going to be making more of these, and none of those little girls are going to notice if the end is not cut just right. They're just going to be excited about a chapstick holder. Okay, so you have it cut, and now you see how you have a pocket on the back to put your chapstick, and it fits right in. So the only thing that's left to do is to add the hardware. And in this case, we're doing the eyelet. You also, I mean, if you don't have all of this stuff, but you have a hole puncher, you could just punch a hole right here. The leather is, the faux leather is nice to where it will still support a keychain going through it. And I actually did that once. You don't have to put an eyelet. Look, with this one, it did have a little sew line around it to kind of guide you where to put the hole, but I just punched a hole through it. It just so happens to be the same leather. And I was able to put a keychain through it. So as long as you see how I have some space in between here and here where it's not going to like pull and rip, just put a hole right here and you still should be able to put a keychain through it. If you're not ready to invest in all the eyelet cam snap stuff. They also have, just eyelet punches that are inexpensive if you don't want to get the whole system you can just get a simple hole punch with the eyelet hand press. Those are some options for you as well. I'm going to use my eyelet punch, all that stuff I showed you, just so you can see how it works. And then you can have a lot of fun with all the different keychains and things you can add. So here's all my pieces. Step number 1 is to punch a hole. Let me put this in a way where you might be able to see. I don't know. I can't do it like that, but I'll show you what it is when it's done. So first I'm going to take my hole cutter, and it screws into the top. And then this piece is what you put on the bottom so that it works with any hole punch. So this is what it looks like, and it's going to punch a hole in it. And now I'm going to add this here, and I can go down slowly so I can make sure my hole is going to be right where I want it to be. And then press. And I heard a little snap. And sometimes the pieces are still there, but they pull right out. And now I have a hole. And this could be good enough. I could put a key ring in here if I wanted. But I'm going to add my eyelet. So I'm going to take these pieces out. Dee says the crocodile. I've heard of this. I think Melissa might have this too. The crocodile is a good tool for punching holes. All right, now I got my grommet pieces. One piece goes on the bottom. This piece has the screw bit, so that's going to go at the top. Okay, that screws in. Now you're going to get your eyelet pieces. So I have the piece that's kind of tall. You see the how the metal pokes up. You have your ring on the front, but then it's got some height to it, and this bit is going to get smushed down. So what we're going to do is we're going to push, have the pretty ring bit on the front, and that tubing bit of metal is going to go through the hole that we made. So if you could see it right there. And we're going to put that, is going to fit perfectly. So upside down, so the nice ring going down in here. But I'm not ready yet. Let me get the other piece. And then we'll have the little ring that's a little more flat, lays on top. Now this ring is hard to tell. It kind of has an indentation in one side. I put the indentation side down, if you can tell, and I'm putting it right on top of here. And what's going to happen is the press is going to smush all that middle piece into place. So here, and then with the ring, and now I press. Just kind of make sure it's all in the right spot. Okay, and now I have the back and the front. Sorry, my camera's not focusing good. So there, you see? And there's the back. So that's it. And now you can put whatever you want on there. If you want to put a key ring, if you want to put the little ball chain, you can get these on Amazon as well. And they also have lobster clasps, or this is a screw-on keychain that I saw on Amazon. It came in like a pack of like 12 or 10 of them in a different array of colors. But these are fun too. So whatever you might have in your stash already, or you can go, some of these things are definitely at Hobby Lobby and maybe Walmart, but then Amazon has tons. The only thing with Amazon is you're going to probably get like a pack of 50, but they usually only cost like $5 for especially like these, or the little ball and chain pieces. Okay. So I think that's it for today, guys. So we went over how to make our in the hoop lip balm holder. We put our lip balm in it now. We're gonna see how Elise likes these colors when she gets home today. So you can see, like, you could have a lot of fun with it. I did a red, I did the mint, and then I did a pink. So, and then you can do different colors for the hearts if you want. You could do different colors. I think the one on Melissa's website has, where I have white around the heart, she did black. So have a lot of fun with it, with the different color combinations that you can use. And then I wanted to also say, if you don't have any faux vinyl in your craft room and you want to make this, like, just at least get through a test run, try felt. If you have some craft felt already in your house, you can try that out as well. I also really like, something I forgot to mention is cork. I have a lot of rolls of cork with like gold flakes in it. That's really fun for these kind of projects as well. So let's see. All right, I think I see some things asking Melissa, but I don't know if she's still here. But yeah, Melissa is awesome. So she is the owner and designer behind Designs by Little Bee, which is these projects from today. Her website is linked in my description below. She has an awesome Facebook group. She does lives in her Facebook group. She has great sales. So definitely check her out, follow her, go shopping. Go get your free hand sanitizer. This is free until tonight, January 31st. And then the lip balm holder will be on sale for $2 until the end of February 2025. And if you have any questions about anything I did today, supplies that I use, the machine I showed you on, the cam snaps bit, feel free to message me on Facebook. You can always email me at hello@carlybell.com. I'm definitely guilty of, I used to be really good at answering YouTube comments. And I don't know what's wrong with me, but I have so many other ways that people are getting in contact with me and messaging me that I have definitely fallen behind on YouTube. So I apologize if you have commented and I haven't answered. One of my goals for 2025 is to get better at getting back on YouTube and answering comments. But if you have something you want to ask me and I haven't answered you, email me. hello@carlybell.com. That is something I'm really good. I check my email too many times a day. Let me just say that, too many times. So just email me if you have any questions about anything. But definitely check out the Sip and Stitch homepage on my website, carlybell.com. That should give you all the information on today's project. Okay. So, all right. So if there are no more questions, I think that's it for today. I do have a schedule for at least until the summer of my Sip and Stitch. And where did I put it? I might have put it on my website. I know I definitely put it in my newsletter. Oops. I have an email newsletter I send out usually once a week, and that kind of lets you know what's going on. No, I still have the fall on the Sip and Stitch homepage. So on my newsletter, let me look and see. I want to say, I know the next one. The next one is February 21st, but I'm trying to remember what project we're going to do. I have it written down. Here we go. We're going to do a banner. I found a really cute banner on Etsy. I have the link. I'm looking at it right now. So on February 21st, we are going, and I think I'm going to use my PE 800 flatbed machine that has a 5x7 hoop. And this is going to be another in the hoop project. So we're making something from scratch. This is fun to use felt for these projects. You can also use fabric. And we're going to make a cute little kind of something like this, where the bunting or banner. And it's going to be, I think I chose a St. Patty's Day theme. And then you just, for each piece of the banner is one hooping. And then we'll put it all together and make a cute decoration for your mantle, or like I can hang it up here above my my pegboard. So that's going to be in next month's class. So stay tuned to the Sip and Stitch homepage. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. That's where I post usually all the upcoming things. And then my email newsletter is the best way to keep in touch and know all the different classes that I'm teaching. So that's it for today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Friday and weekend, and I won't see you before then. So happy Valentine's Day as well. All right, bye guys.